All right. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everyone's feeling well. It is 6:30, September 23rd. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend, right? A little relaxation, a little football, a little fitness, a little everything you do, everything you want to do, right? As we approach a new week. My name is Scott Redler. I am the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's 6:30 Club, where try and go over what we're going to look at for the week, where we can make some money, how we can work on our process, and continue to see what's happening here. As we get ready to roll, we'll check some stuff out. By the way, if you're looking at YouTube, this is what you see. You see that like everyone gets to interact a little bit and say good morning and throw out some ideas. On Twitter, I don't think you could do that. But anyway, some people saying happy birthday. Yeah, thank you. That was Saturday. I did turn 52. So it's it's good. Not everyone gets a privilege. Everyone's like, Red Dog, you're getting old. You're 52. I'm like, all right, 52 is not so bad as long as you are happy in your situation. I'm happily married. My son's getting bigger and stronger. I had a good weekend going for a little runs with my dog. Got to watch some basketball. Got to watch some football, and feeling kind of healthy. So all is well. Age is just a number. But anyway, so let's get to it. We approach the week. I read a lot of notes over the weekend about like the markets and what does it mean? What does a 50 basis point cut mean? Are we going into a recession? Are we going to have a soft landing? Da 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 da. At this point, we've had a pretty big move in the market, and I'm just going to simplify it. I would say as long as we hold this 565 area, after a move to 572 and digest and let the 8-day catch up, you got to be constructive on stocks. Like right now, SPYs are up 87 cents at 569, so we're above this little spot. So you can't be too upset here unless, you're fighting the move or you're in the wrong names. And it's very easy to be in the wrong names and fight moves. Mechanically, to think about it, like, look, it's just funny the way the market's been acting. You got to let it go because it's definitely difficult at times where this was Wednesday Fed day, right? This was when, you push through, we closed in the lows. And I would think most technicians that I read out there, like, oh, look at the negative bearish Harami or the red dog reversal sell, this and that. And I was like, I understand that. But usually, the day after the Fed is a little bit different. So the day after the Fed, gaps up above this area. Couldn't be up 30 handles and then go up 90 or 100. Had to gap up 90, play around all day, and then give you a doji. And then on Friday, it had to really like test your metal. So if you were out of stocks and you started buying here and accumulating, then they had to bring it lower. So anyway, whatever. It is what it is. Deal with the action. As long as we hold 565, you can't get too bearish. With the Qs, very similar. As long as we hold this 478-ish, hit a high of 486, came in, maybe we go sideways here. And, tech needs to start acting a little bit better. It's participating. It's just not the leading sector, which is fine. It doesn't always have to be the leading sector. There's other things going on. The semis also have not really been great. Semis right now, I would say here, if you're in the semis, you probably don't want to see the SMH's break 234-ish. So if you put this here, this is 234-ish. 234-ish. So last week gave us points of reference to use for this week. Okay. Some are saying, hey, Red Dog, you got to look at energy a little bit closer because energy is a sector that nobody's talking about. So that's when the algos usually come there. So I was like, well, if energy is going to be a little bit better, then you would think that this 87 area holds in the XLE and then perhaps, it gets going. So if you feel like you want to be in some energy versus 87, that's cool. At least you have a point of reference. As far as, all the different types of names out there, everything's just different. Finally, Meta had a really nice breakout move. So you can't be too upset about Meta. Although it took its time, although you had all these fake outs, you had a fake out here and then a fake out here. And finally, it wound up going, it hit a high of 564. Those in options or those who finally went with it are getting, rewarded. And actually, it's up this morning. It's up another 6. So at least this is playing by the rules. It's giving you some follow through. So can't be upset about that. As far as all the other Mag 7 names, they're all different. Amazon I've been in for almost 2 weeks now, and it's making its way. It's not a barn burning move, but I think Amazon's going to work its way back up to the highs here, and then we'll see if Jeff's waiting to sell it like he was back there. But it's been acting better. This is where we put it on as a power play at 178, 179, and Amazon's looking pretty good. Apple, you know, gave you a little red dog reversal sell on Friday just because it had a huge move. I would think that at some point, it hangs in here. I did play, the rebalance game here, and I was buying some puts into that move, and it gave you. It's crazy how it goes like the last few minutes. Like at the end of the day, if you don't know what's going on with this rebalance, it can knock your teeth out. Like look at this move in Apple in the last like 5 minutes of the day. Kind of crazy. Let's hear go like this to the 2 hours, or where's your intraday? Look at that. If you were like just hanging around, you had no idea that a rebalance was going to happen, you don't know the mechanics of the market. Oh, Apple looks great. I can't wait for it to break out next week. And then this was literally at I don't even know what time it was. It's like at 3:50. It was at 2:32 and came all the way in. That was a nice trade. I had some puts on. I covered most, and now that trade's over. There was a buy and balance that people did a little front run. That's why I tweeted at the end of the day. I'm like, guys, don't get caught long here thinking you're going to get this great big move. It kind of already happened. Anyway, this gap is gone now. And now we'll see. We'll see if it could, maybe rebuild this week a little bit and then give us another type of setup to make a new all-time high. The blackout for Apple is going to be happening soon, meaning, what does that mean? It means that they're not going to be able to buy their own stock back as they get closer to earnings. And I'm sure their earnings, to me, I don't think their earnings are going to be so fantastic because nobody's trading up for the phones as much. But, there's always a good excuse to buy Apple, whether it's for the dividend, the buyback, the iTunes store, whatever the hell it is. But anyway, we'll see how this sets up. Let it do a little, red dog reversal today and go sideways and go. As far as NVIDIA, NVIDIA's got to wake up. So NVIDIA had a very big sell imbalance all week. So I feel like there was a lot of funds that had to sell NVIDIA all week long because they had too much of it. And now we'll see, what kind of NVIDIA do we have for this week. NVIDIA is only up 35 cents. So if it's going to have to wake up fast and kind of like take, maybe engulf this candle here and then show that it wants to get better. Because right now this has not been the place to be. I am long NVIDIA, and I'm hoping that all of a sudden the sellers are gone, and anyone who is short a little NVIDIA has to cover. Not that anyone really short it, but if all of a sudden it goes from up 40 cents, starts breaking 115.39, then it has to hold this. Otherwise, it's going to just be out of play and something we just don't focus on anymore. So NVIDIA, we'll see if it could get better in tomorrow. If it can't get better today, tomorrow, chances are, it's just not going to be the NVIDIA of old, right? Same way, remember, Tesla became a pain in the ass, and then finally Tesla got a little bit better. To me, this candlestick in Tesla was a little annoying on Friday, right? You finally had a nice breakout above 235. We all made a lot of money. I know I took home Tesla on Friday, and I just didn't hold it because it was, it gave back more than I thought. So this gap is gone. This is kind of gone. Some people are still in it. It's cool. What I probably should have done is rolled into a higher level of options. This right here is what? This is 244.24. So we'll see what happens here with Tesla. Tesla's not leading. By the way, if you go look at the weekly chart, I haven't looked at this in a while. Tesla has not done anything. Okay, so let me redo this a little bit. There's a lot of room here in Tesla if it wants it. Just even back to 271. This is where Tesla was in 2021. That's when it was leading. Since then, there's been some trades here. It just hasn't been, the EV market slowing, or people don't trust it as much. In the wintertime, you can't be driving an EV, and then all of a sudden it gets too cold and your battery freezes. That's not fun. But anyway, it's just kind of getting above this spot. If it could stay above this spot, it seems like there's a little bit more room here in Tesla. But anyway, so Tesla, again, things change. Tesla has not been a leader, but we'll see if Tesla, if you're still in it, you could put your stop in here at like this low here is what, 232. So put your stop at 231, and then maybe, it acts better. I will say a lot of people made really good money with my Dash. Dash has been dashing. What a move, right? Dash gave us a lot of relative strength from, that August 5th low, gave a nice bull flag, and then broke above it, and then retested it, and looks like it's ready to take out 143. It's been a really good trade. A lot of my friends showed me a lot of the research reports in the last few weeks, and got me involved, and it's been a nice trade. What else? Oh, you guys want to talk? All the Bitcoin guys like Redler. Let's talk IBIT. So there was some news out there that you now have options on IBIT. This IBIT is the ETF that correlates to Bitcoin the same way the SPYs correlate to the S&P, the Qs correlate to tech, and this is a very reliable ETF. If you don't have a Coinbase account or you don't have Bitcoin and you've been accumulating Bitcoin because you think this range is going to finally break out to the upside, well, now you can have options here. You had options in this thing called BITO, which was a piece of junk ETF that didn't correlate, that had dividends, and you lost money. So this is, this looks kind of ready here. Like look, go to the chart of Bitcoin itself. For some reason, I always remember, over Thanksgiving, Bitcoin always seems to be like at a record or somewhere because, everyone makes fun. Oh, at the Thanksgiving table, your mother-in-law is asking about Bitcoin, the taxi driver is asking around about Bitcoin, and that's usually a top. So maybe, you get that move between, October to Thanksgiving in Bitcoin, and because this has been going sideways for a long time now, pretty much since February. So, if it when and if it breaks above this 70,000, which it probably will at some point, and we get 90,000, maybe it'll be, in the next 2 months. But look at this weekly chart on Bitcoin. It looks pretty good, really good. I showed this last week. So a little pause here, maybe, which would be nice, a little digestion, and then hopefully it doesn't pull in too much, and then makes its way and does its thing. ASTS. I'm in it still. It's some of these one-off things are tough. We'll see. Technically, kind of broke a little bit below this spot. I have some puts sold. I have some calls on. It's had a big move, so sometimes it gets a little scary when technically it starts to break a little bit. Just be careful. Know what you own in this one. CELH. That was a old school name that kind of broke trend and became a piece of what. It's junk. This was great here. It was a good stock trade above the 820 one day when there's momentum. It's awesome. And then when it breaks, it breaks. Look where it broke here. This was a double top, a red dog reversal sell, a red dog reversal sell, broke the 8 day, and it's been broken since. Stay away. Unless, I don't know. Anyway, what else? So this SMCI, I'm in some calls. Looked like it was set up. Looked like maybe finally these idiots would come out with their 10K and show that they didn't fudge their numbers that Hindenburg and this are talking about. And I guess it didn't come out. It's down 8 points. So, I'm probably not going to add to it. I'm going to see how much of the premium they let out and maybe just sell it and move on. Haven't traded this thing. I was very active in SMCI during that move. And I feel like right around this double top, lower high, red dog reversal sell at 934. I'm like, I'm done with this name. It's sometimes names are just not worth it, and then finally guys are like, red dog, look at the chart. Look right here. Everyone's talking about the 10Ks coming out Friday or Monday. It'll be up, 100 points. I was like, you know what? I'll take some options. So I took some options and it's down 8 points. It is what it is. So, it goes against some of my other overnights or whatever. Google, Google's working, it's rebuilding. Some guys made some good money off the bottom in Google here, and it's been above the moving averages and it's been acting better. This is the high here, so it's not leading. It's definitely not a Meta, but there's not a lot of stocks like Meta right now that are breaking out. What's Google doing this morning? Google it's up 80 cents. It's, like slowly but surely just kind of coming up a little bit. I think they got a little bit better EU type ruling stuff. I guess maybe it could work its way towards here. It's definitely not a barn burner, but if you're comfortable, and you've been in it buying dips, making some money, that's fine. It's fine. It's nothing great. Microsoft, this is like kind of similar. Microsoft's down a little bit today. Microsoft also not at highs, not perfect, not special. gave guys a move through 410, 416, took out 427. And if you remember last week, I'm like, guys, this zone will be resistance. And then every time it's opened up, it's been for sale. So, not the greatest action, but it is what it is. Not everything, again, could be meta. What I think is pretty set up DraftKings. Even though I don't like to bet, and I don't think kids should be betting in high school or college. They do, and I don't like to glorify betting, but this downtrend is pretty interesting, and it's coming into a point here, and we're getting into the nuts and bolts of football season soon, and I do think that this is an interesting setup. I'm long a little bit. I might buy some options. This DraftKings looks decent here. What's DraftKings doing this morning? DraftKings what's it doing? DKNG. Not a whole lot. So you could be long this verse here, and perhaps it breaks this downtrend, and you can get a something off the bean path. Check out what you want me to check out. ARMK, is that? I don't even know what that is. Or Amarak, it's trending. It's this is a pretty bearish candle on Friday. Not okay. Someone said Pfizer. Pfizer's been annoying. Everyone is talking about how Pfizer is going to make this comeback and it's going to be awesome. Meanwhile, it's still just a laggard. It's a waste of money. The trade has been really Lilly, but Lilly up here is also getting a little wishy-washy. Where it's kind of like doing what Meta did up there. Made it really hard for a breakout. But at some point, I would think that Lilly breaks out of this upper area. If you're long, it could be long versus 893, and at some point it takes out 950. At some point this I think will be 1,000. It's just a matter of how it gets there, and you just have to watch your size if you're, if you're a trader. If you're an investor, this stock has built wealth, and wow, look at that. That's Lilly. This isn't Nvidia. This is Eli Lilly. Holy cow, what a move! So it goes to show you that. You could pick out stocks that could build wealth. You could trade stocks for cash flow. It's all about, your time frame and what you're looking to do, and get a little lucky. I have a friend who named their child Lily, so they bought, 1,000 shares of Lily at $40. Well, imagine he named her, Penelope and bought Pfizer. It wouldn't have worked as good as buying Lily. But anyway, AFRM, yeah, that group's been acting a little bit better. This, if you long it, this is that gap, pro earnings gap, and it's a little shaky up here, but it's been all right. UNG, some guys are in natural gas. Natural gas is acting better. Looks like natural gas is where UNG. I actually said this was an accumulate for the summer and should be in options for October, November, and unfortunately I didn't do it. But you would think this UNG can get to 1750. It's definitely acting better. We need some other energy out there, right? So anyway, this 1750-ish for UNG could be a good spot. Some people trade Boyle because it's got a little extra juice. Yeah, a lot of uranium plays are doing very well. CCJ, let's see that one. I remember playing it up here and it kind of failed. These are all my old marks. But you have a gap here and it's kind of reborn. So if you want to be long CCJ, you can now be long versus gap, right? This low here is 43.28. It's calculated. Why not? 43.28. So, some of these nuclear names, all kind of uranium names, all had a nice broken move, and now we'll see if it starts a new sequence here. Oxy, if you think that the XLE is going to get better because it's an unloved sector, and maybe like I said, you could be along verse 87. Oxy has been absolutely horrendous, like gross, like who cares if Buffett's in it, whatever. I guess if you had to be an Oxy, you could be long verse 49.91. Like look how it broke below this range here. It just fell out of the range. So if you've been trading Oxy or accumulating Oxy, since 2022, not great. Anyway, still in no man's land. So it's up to you. Sometimes, Buffett could lead the way, and sometimes, it just he doesn't win on all of them. Anyway, all right, guys, listen, it's 6:52. Let me just quickly go back to the SPYs. Here we are. We've had a huge move. It's been a big year. A lot of people like, this is so nuts that we are, 1 or 2% off all-time highs, not even. And they're starting to lower rates, and they might be lowering rates for the next 10 months. What does that mean? To be honest, I don't know exactly what it means. All I know is that to me, it doesn't feel like we're heading into some crazy recession. It feels like they want to be supportive to growth. I do know that, there's a lot of people talking about the election and what it means depending who wins and tax ramifications. And if all of a sudden it does really seem like, Harris wins, and she wants to get the long-term taxes to over 40% and this and that. We might not have a Santa Claus rally. We might be saying, hey, we better be selling some of the stocks now, so this way we're paying a little less in taxes versus whatever. So, it's going to be very interesting, market the next 2 months. So we're going to go day by day, week by week, if we're active, so we can net money. And we're also going to stick to long-term plans no matter what. I'm 52 years old. On Fridays, I like to give you the weekly chart where it shows you, all the 9 accounts that Red Dog has since I'm 52. I didn't have 9 accounts when I was 30 or 35. I was too young. But at 52, developed 9 different ways to approach the market and sacrifice a little bit for down the road. And that's what I try and teach you guys. Petros right here is, in the alpha team, he's got 3-year-olds telling him you better start that 529 plan, because by the time these kids go to college, actually college will be free. They'll be paying for everything. No, I'm kidding. But it's pretty expensive. So 401k maxed out, 403b maxed out. Those are monthly flows. You get your cost average. Usually you're going to win over time. 529, start early. Even the whole life insurance that I started way back when, that hurt. At age 35, my friend went into the insurance business. Like, you have to get whole life. I'm like, okay, $1,500 a month later, it's now almost 18 years of that. I would have spent it somewhere else instead. Now I have a nice cash value, and if I die, I'm worth a lot of money. But anyway, those are all long-term scenarios. And then if you trade actively for a living, you have to put the time in. You got to develop your process. You got to keep your mind right. You got to feed the brain. There's a lot you got to do to stay the course. So work on it. It doesn't come easy. Nothing comes easy. All right, guys, I'll see you a little bit later. I have about 40 charts to go over now. So this way I could give actionable scenarios on all of them as we approach this week. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.